mediocrity, it ain't no friend to me. Wage a war, wage a war, wage a war, wage a war against mediocrity, it ain't no friend to me. Wage a war, wage a war, wage a war, wage a war against mediocrity, it ain't no friend to me.
Good afternoon, my people. What's up out there, America? It's your boy, the motivational teacher to the masses, coming to you again with another edition of Motivational Monday. Woo! I know everybody's having a phenomenal week, gotten this week off to a phenomenal start. As you all begin to come on here, holla at your boy. I'm starting to see eyes come into the room right now. So if you would, please holla at your boy and let me know who is in the house. For all my replayers, give me about 30 seconds as I share this out to all my sites, if you would. Thank you so much. The eyes are adding up, man. I'm happy to see people on time. Somebody holla at your boy, and I'm sharing this out right now. And if you would, hey, Angelique, thank you for joining me. The artist, thank you for joining me. If you all would, please share this to your kinfolk out there and let them know the motivational teacher has just gone live for a great breaking moment. I'm gonna share this out to some of my groups. If you would, type some names in there and let your people know your boy has just gone live. Tonight we're gonna be tackling another popular saying where we're gonna break some bread with it tonight. Last Monday was phenomenal. This Monday we're gonna take it to a higher height, man. And I hope and pray that your lives are prospering because you're spending the time with us on these Mondays. That is my prayer. And if you would, Facebook, if you would, please share this out. And let me give me one or two more places, y'all. I'm gonna be ready to get going. I know, Angelique, you like, man, I'm here on time. Vanika, you like, I'm here on time. Why I gotta wait? I feel you. Trust me on this. Your boy about to get going. Give me about 30 more seconds as I send this out. 30 more seconds. I'm going to share it one or two more places, and then we're going to be ready to get this show on the road. If you all would, please type one or two names in that chat box. If y'all would, please share out, put your cousin name, your grandmama name in there. It'll mean the world that the highest form of flattery or highest form that I'm getting something out of this is for you all to share it. All right, ladies and gentlemen, let's get to it. So the last couple of weeks I've been tackling, it's all good. I'm patient. Thank you, the artist. The last couple of weeks, I've been talking about these sayings that we usually just say with not really understanding the meaning that's behind them, like mind over matter. What in the world does that actually mean? We broke that down, and we're going into more of these sayings like that. And this week on episode 92 of Awaken Your I Am, we're going to tackle a new one. We're going to tackle ignorance is not bliss. So how many of you have you all heard someone say that ignorant was bliss? I remember when the coronavirus first came out and it was still in Wuhan, China, and it had people just starting to know a little bit about it. I remember hearing people saying little quick things like, what do you think about the beer virus? Or do you think they're going to take this coronavirus serious? And all of those different things, because people had not yet done their research and the coronavirus was new. Hey, Mom, thank you for joining us. Thank you for for coming in here this afternoon. So it was new, and a lot of people didn't want to take the time to understand and learn about the coronavirus. So that next best thing was to just ignore it. Hence the term ignorance is bliss. And I've heard that quoted so much in my own community, especially when I'm in the gym. I hear a lot of people that don't want to know about eating right, but they want to lose weight. Hey, what's up, Rod? Thank you for joining us, bro. I think you're on vacation too. I appreciate you dropping in here. Tonight, we're talking about ignorance is bliss. What is the meaning of ignorance is bliss? Well, the first time that this was used was in a poem by Thomas Gray. In a general context, he called it a romantic poem about the return. And both the poet returns to a place after the interval of years. He feels that change and loss. He feels that change was lost, and he recollects about the past, and then looks into the future. Look like I got disconnected for a second. Everything that changed over the future has caused me. Also, he was saying, like, there's so many of us that we worry about tomorrow. We need to let tomorrow be, meaning ignorance is bliss, that I only take care of today and don't take any heed for tomorrow. That today, ignorance is bliss. And I'll tell you, and I think a lot of times in the African American community, a lot of times we allow these phrases and these terms that have been passed down to us through slavery, we allow this to become a part of our DNA because it's passed down. Because we're looking at what yesterday was, and I'm so not wanting yesterday to change that my tomorrow looks different. To me, it sounds like QAnon, or to me, it sounds like Make America Great Again, or it sounds like in those same veins that I don't want anything to change. I want it to remain the same. Yeah, ignorance is bliss. I'm telling you today, ignorance is not bliss. Whether you know it or not, we are charged. There is a price to pay for the information that we neglect. Is on here. I'm going to talk about my uncle right quick. My uncle was diagnosed with diabetes when in his early 40s. He was diagnosed with diabetes, but he allowed diabetes to go dormant and him not take his medicine, him not attend to his blood sugar. And in his 60s, he ended up having amputations, or 70s, end up having dialysis, and end up dying. Why? Because in that time frame where he wasn't doing what he's supposed to do, in his mind, ignorance is bliss. If I ignore it long enough, I can overcome it. But I'm challenging us to change that thinking that ignorance is bliss. I'm challenging us to know that there are consequences for lack of information. There's consequences for not knowing. There are consequences for where we're supposed to be and where we are. I'm gonna break bread before this is all over. Y'all better tell your mom and them, your cousin them, to hop on this Motivational Monday. The motivational teacher's about to get going. So Thomas Gray believes that instead of looking at what can change in the future or how tomorrow is going to be better than today, to live in the past and just say, I don't want to change. If I don't know to change, it's bliss. I'm gonna break bread before this over. That word ignorance means it's the state or fact of being ignorant, the lack of knowledge, education, or awareness. Let me say that again. Ignorance. Ignorant, root word ignorant, we know that. It's the fact or state of being ignorant, lack knowledge, education, or awareness. Like, it's so important that we know that we are the most important age of information. Right now, information is so easily attained that it's so easy. Hey, Peggy, thank you for joining us. Information is so easily attained that my 8-year-old can go look on Google and find out about anything he so chooses. My 8-year-old, if he can say the word coherently and clearly, he can look up anything. I know right now he was up there looking up Pokemon. He had all Pokemon toys named out. Hey, Courtney, thank you for joining us. Y'all, please tag somebody else in this thing. I'm just now about to get going. My 8-year-old Christian can go in, and just a few seconds ago on a device, he had all the Pokemon men pulled up. He was learning the names of Pokemon. And I want this Pokemon, or I want that Pokemon. How could he do it, motivational teacher? Because we're in the age of information right now. This is a choice. I just broke bread. In this age of information, ignorance is a choice. If you lack what you don't. Over knowledge. I'm telling you right now, ladies and gentlemen, you possess at your hand. I know it's storming outside, so I hope this is this pretty clear? Let me ask, because I keep blanking off and on my end. Is my voice pretty clear? Please let me know, because I keep hearing the interference in my ear as well. If this is clear, just let me know. Holler at your boy. Say clear or something. Let me know it's clear, because I'm about to give some nuggets in a second that's going to be good for changing lives. I am about to give some nuggets in a few seconds that are changing lives forever. Because I can honestly, you're cutting in and out. I know that hopefully it's good now. I'm looking at it now. It look like the interference is gone. I speak those things. They're freezing a little. Yeah, I can tell. Like, I keep hearing it. Every time I freeze, I hear it in my ear. So I see now that it look like I got better connection. The weather's bad over here, storming right now. But it looks like I have a better connection right now. So let's get back to it. Hey, Vaniqua, thank you for joining us. Yeah, Peggy said I broke up a little bit. All right, it's clearer now. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, y'all. And my prayers, it stays clear. See, that I'm telling you right now, man, when you go feed people knowledge, you have enemies that you don't know about. See, I heard it just in my ear. You have enemies that you don't know about. Just trust me on this. I'm going to get this out through the airways, because the challenge the challenge for a lot of people is that the gap between where they are and where they want to be is in the information. It's in the information. You cannot act on what you don't know. And when I was looking up and I was doing my work, yes, ignorance is now a choice. Come on, Peggy. Hey, Philinda, thank you for joining us. So in my research, I was looking up, why weren't slaves allowed to read? The reason why slaves were not allowed to read, they said fearing that black literacy would prove a threat to the slave system, which relied on slaves' dependence on masters. Whites in many colonies instituted laws forbidding slaves to learn to read and write and making it a crime for others to do them. Why motivational teacher to the masses? Because they know new information brings in new thoughts, and new thoughts bring in new behaviors, new attitude, new actions. That's why getting understanding is so important, because you can never act on what you do not know. I just broke bread. You can pray to the heavens for all the years you want to. If you never get good information, you never can know how God is going to do it. I just broke bread. Some of us have been asking to be debt free, but we have not searched debt freedom one time. We hadn't searched revolving debt. We hadn't searched interest bearing accounts, and we remain in debt because we're ignorant of what it takes to be out. Although it is God's will. It's the great I am's will for you to be debt free. It's the great I am wills for you to leave an inheritance to your children's children. However, he cannot awaken your I am to information you do not know. I just broke bread. Some of us have been looking and we want to change our life, and I'm with you. I want to change my life. And we've been wanting to do different things, and you get an unction. Yeah, let me break bread. You get an unction from the great I am awakening your I am. And because ignorance is bliss, you stay at the unction. You never look farther or deeper into what that unction might be. I'm breaking bread right now. Motivational teacher, why don't I look more deeply into it? Because ignorance is bliss. Anybody, like I told y'all the last time, like right now, I answer phone numbers I do not know. Why? Because I'm looking for that speaking engagement for 5,000 people. I'm looking for that training that's going to impact lives for generations to come. So I answer phone numbers that don't come. Why? Before, let me say it like this. Before, I didn't answer them because I was closed and wasn't thinking big enough. But now that I began to see how it works, how the great I am awakens my I am, I got to be more open to change. I got to be more open to information I didn't have before. I got to tune in to ideas that enhance what I already know versus me just saying I'm operating on my limited knowledge. Yes, John Maxwell talks about the knowledge gap. Yeah, I'm going to break bread. I don't know why my voice been fine all day. John Maxwell talks about the knowledge gap. And he's one of my mentors. And John Maxwell says, where I am today and where I want to be, the space in between is a knowledge gap. So right now, if I'm earning at a 4, if my income level is a 4 and I want to earn at an 8, then I have to close that knowledge gap. And see, as long as I stay here on this 4, and that's why some of you all, we say we have an enemy, but some of us, the enemy is not fighting us. What's fighting us is our knowledge gap. Because for some of us, that my income level is a 4 and a 4 is right here, and I gain no new information, and I'm praying, I'm hoping, and I'm praying that I want my income to go to an 8, but we're not doing anything to increase our knowledge and information to get to the 8. Why? Because we sit there and we believe that if I just do it long enough, I work hard enough, and in some cases, it will get you from a 5 to a 7, but you will not ultimately attain everything that's been put on this earth for you to attain. They would not allow the slaves to learn information. Why, motivational teacher? Because they knew that will upset that will upset the structure that they have in their life. Why is it, motivational teacher, that I'm not getting more information from the great I am to awaken my I am? Why is it not that I'm not walking in my gifts and I'm not walking in my talents, motivational teacher? Why is it that it seems like every time I get to that 4, I fall back to 2? Because ignorance is not bliss. Ignorance is not bliss. Hey, Joy, thanks for joining us. Somebody need to go right there in that chat box and put in there, ignorance is not bliss. There is, in this age of information, there is no excuse for ignorance. Ignorance is not bliss. Being uneducated, having a lack of knowledge or a lack of awareness, there's no reason in this day of technology where we should be have not enough information in order to change our lives forever. I just broke bread, and I hope that came through. Ignorance is not bliss. Stop telling ourselves that I haven't gotten there because it's just not my lot in life. Your lot in life is greatness. Boy, I just broke bread. Your lot in anything that you listen, man, that dream, I believe God showed them. This is a whole nother thing. I believe the great I am awaken our I am through dreams and visions. I believe that that at some points in our life that I can see myself already speaking in front of thousands and reaching millions. Why is that, motivational teacher? Because the great I am is awakening my I am to that reality, but it does not happen the version of who I am today. There has to be information to go from right now, my level is a 4, and my level as a 4 is I'm competent enough to reach hundreds. I'm competent enough to reach hundreds. Right now, my level, let's just say, for example, my level is a 4. For me to reach thousands, I have to increase my level to 8 or 9. I'm breaking bread right now. I'm breaking bread. In order for me to increase my level to the 8 or 9, there has to be an intake of new information. Come on, ladies and gentlemen. You have to, at one time, people were not allowing people like us to read or write because they knew that knowledge is power. My boy Frederick Douglass said, once you learn to read, you will be free forever. I think Frederick Douglass missed one. Thank you, Joy, for putting people's name in there. I think Frederick Douglass missed one thing. I think he missed one thing. Once you learn how to read, you will be free forever. Caveat. If you stop reading, that does not apply to you. If you stop reading, that does not apply to you. If you like, he said in his day, because they weren't allowed to read and they understood the value of getting new information. They understood the value of taking in new thoughts. They understood the value of learning and growing until the day when people don't. Like, man, it's amazing that in Atlanta, the crime rate has skyrocketed. And a lot of it looks like me and you. The crime rate has skyrocketed in Atlanta, where young black men are killing other black men that look like themselves. What's going on right now in the age of this pandemic? That there's so many people that are unhappy with who they are now because they had to take a look in the mirror at who they are. I'm telling you right now, in the absence of knowledge and information, ignorance is the only truth that some people have to stand on. And the truth, oh my God, I'm about to break bread. Boy, come on. I'm gonna have to redo this one. In the absence of knowledge, ignorance is the only truth that some people have to stand on. And in the presence of standing on ignorance, you make stupid decisions like killing one another. So like right here in Henry County, one man killed two people over $5, small little argument. He killed two people over $5. When ignorance is the truth that you have to stand on, you make boneheaded decisions like killing somebody over $5. Ignorance becomes the new truth. Amen. Well, listen, when you are presented with a problem, when you don't have solutions, and when you don't have solutions, and you don't have, I'm about to break bread. When you don't know that the great I am has awakened your I am, and you're presented with a problem, and ignorance It's the only solution you stand on. You make dumb decisions like cheating on your taxes. You make dumb decisions like, oh, it must not be my time. Oh, you make dumb decisions like, oh, that was meant for them and it wasn't meant for me. Why motivate? Because you're standing on ignorance. In the absence of truth, in the absence of knowledge, all we have is ignorance. Come on, Lisa, I'm breaking bread. I saw the other day where a 45-year-old man stabbed his 27-year-old sister over 30 times. Why? Because he was standing on ignorance. He had no truth. Man, I'm breaking bread up in here tonight. I wonder how they could do that, because ignorance is their truth. And as long as you stand in ignorance as your truth and you believe it that it's bliss, like since I don't know, it's okay for me to make this decision. God is not winking at ignorance anymore. At once he winked, but now you at the age of information technology where there's no more winking at ignorance, and it's saying now you possess the capacity to go out and whatever I don't have, I can grow it. To the seed, to the sower, he always gives what? Seed. To the sower, he always gives seed. The great I am always awakens our I am to the sower. Boy, I'm about to break bread up in here. Yeah. I'm about to break. Hey, I got some people chiming in here. Hey, Lisa, thank you for joining us. That's deep. Yep. Redirect. I'm telling you, man, I hear it in my ear. I know every time when something goes off with this thing, but I'm telling you right now, in the presence of ignorance, boy, I gotta break bread. We can keep on walking by faith, and the just shall walk by faith. I get it. Trust me on this. You gotta believe. I get all of this good stuff. Your word, I get all of this good stuff. All that stuff is true. However, in the absence, or in the absence of truth, and in the presence of ignorance, even faith doesn't work for your behalf. I just broke bread. See, man, God always gives seed to the sower. I'm about to break bread for somebody right now. Let me say it this way. The great I am always awakens our I am to seed that we currently have in our life. In the absence of lack. In the presence of lack. Let me say that one more time. The great I am always awakens our I am to seed in the presence of lack in our life. He always gives seed to the sower. He never gives us a finished product, but he always gives seed to the sower. But in the presence of ignorance, we take our seed for granted. God never gives you a chair, but he gives you the tree. He never gives you the cake, but he gives you the oil and flour. See, too many of us are ignorant to the ways of that the kingdom works. You'll never get the finished products. He only gives you the raw goods. He only gives you the flour, the sugar, the oil, and you have to bake the cake. Too many of us is looking for the finished product in a cake. Come on, ladies and gentlemen. You never lack resources, or you never lack solutions, because he always gives seed to the sower. But the ignorant is not bliss. Ignorance will cost you your entire life. Ignorance will cost your children's children their inheritance. Ignorance will cause you to die of diabetes when you should have life and have it to the abundance. I told you it was going in and out. I told you my uncle died because he believed that ignorance was bliss. He was diagnosed with diabetes in his late 30s, early 40s. He did nothing about his blood sugar, did nothing about taking his medicine, all the way up until his 70s. And he ended up going to dialysis. He ended up having losing a toe. He ended up having to have a heart attack. He ended up having to do all those things because for 20 years he believed that if I just don't think about it, if I just don't deal with it, it'll go away. And many of us deal with that in our life. We come up with problems in our life and we just say, man, eventually it'll die, or we get to a spot in our life where we're trying to make this dream happen. I get to a certain place every time in this dream, and I somehow just see like, bam, when I get there, I get kicked back, and we just say it wasn't meant for me. I'm telling you, ignorance is not bliss. Ignorance will cost you your entire life. I'm breaking bread right now. We got to get to the place where if I'm talking about knowledge, let me go back right here. The opposite of ignorance is knowledge. The opposite of ignorant is knowledge. Having education, having awareness. The opposite of ignorance. If ignorant is bliss, then the opposite of ignorant being bliss is being able to have understanding, knowledge, education, and awareness. I'm about to break bread. Any area in your life where you don't have knowledge, education, or awareness, and I'm not talking about a degree, I'm talking about a clear understanding and why. Any three areas in your life where those don't persist, you can never have explosive growth in that area of your life. Any area of your life that lacks knowledge, education, or awareness, even though you're asking God to do it for you, he cannot do it through. The great I am cannot awaken your I am to it because you don't have the knowledge. Because you don't have the knowledge. If you reject knowledge, you're rejecting the great I am working through you. If you reject understanding, you're rejecting the great I am being able to awaken your I am to that truth. I remember when my wife and I started, we were in so much debt, and most of it was because of me. We were in so much debt, and I remember taking Dave Ramsey's money management system, and I started changing my thoughts about money after I started getting new information so I can gain new thoughts, so I can have new actions about handling money. And then I messed around and got a stockbroker job. And then I learned about how to get residual income and how to gain interest on your money. And right now we're in the best place we've ever been in. Why? Because I got new information. And I'm challenging you in any area of your life that you want the great I am to awaken your I am to. You got to get knowledge and understanding. I'm telling you, that's why I think a lot of people get lost in the shuffle, because number one, you don't know what you've been called to. And hey, what's up, Charles? To get knowledge and understanding. And so many of us go around ignorant. And yeah, I'm going to use that word. Ignorance is not bliss. Most of us go around ignorant into what we've been called to do and what our ultimate purpose is on this earth. So we abuse our whole life because I'm ignorant about why I'm here. The reason why I'm ignorant about why I'm here, because I listened to grandmama tell me why I was here. I listened to my uncle tell me. I listened to everybody else tell me why I was here, except consulting the great I am about the purpose of my life. And I'm ignorant to what I'm supposed to give myself to. So in the absence of not knowing what to give myself to, ignorance is the only thing I turn to. I turn to alcohol. I turn to drugs. I turn to a job that has nothing to do with my life. I turn to a negative relationship that at least make me feel some way about myself. In the absence of knowledge, ignorance arises. And that was the challenge with African Americans learning to read. And that's why Martin Luther King and Frederick Douglass and all of the pioneers in the civil rights movement, or even before the civil rights movement, Booker T. Washington, all of them clouded, do you need an education? I don't think they necessarily meant you need a degree, but you need to enlighten yourself. You need to enlighten yourself. You need to have a liberated mind. It got so bad one time that even in Hosea 4:6, the great I am said, my people are destroyed for lack of knowledge. You know what he said? My people are destroyed because they're ignorant. My people are destroyed because lack of knowledge. I want you to take inventory of your life and see what areas of your life are destroyed for lack of knowledge. Is my marriage not working? Not because he's a bad man or because I'm a bad woman. It's not working because we lack the knowledge to make it work. Well, let me say, we lack the knowledge and action to make it work. You cannot have an action without first getting the knowledge. I'm breaking bread. Is my bank account at the end of the month, there's more month left than money? Is it that way because my bank account is destroyed for lack of knowledge? Is my business being destroyed for lack of knowledge? Oh my goodness. If the great I am said that it's destroyed for lack of knowledge, what areas of your life do you believe have you bought into the ignorance is bliss? I'm telling you right now, if you don't have a plan for self-development to grow yourself, to fill that knowledge gap, you can get ready to be at whatever level you at. It's going to top out in 5 years and then it begins to diminish. I just broke bread. Whatever skill set you have today in 2021, if you don't grow and become more competent in that skill set, in 5 years, your earning potential will decrease. Why? Because information technology and knowledge has surpassed your level of understanding. I'm breaking bread. And that's why I believe this is why this message is being challenged over these airways right now. Because this is liberating some people in areas of their life they didn't even know they could be free. They didn't know they could. I didn't know I could be a millionaire until I became a stockbroker and got new information. I didn't know I could be debt free until I ran into Dave Ramsey. I didn't know I could have a good marriage until I ran into his need, her needs, or the 5 love languages by Rex Chapman. See, oh man, sacrifice determines the value of a thing. Sacrifice determines the value of a thing. Are you willing to go learn and grow in an area so you can improve that area? Because I'm telling you, the gap right now is ignorance. Hey, Carrie, thank you for joining us. Hey, Jackie, thank you for joining us. The gap is ignorance. I'm breaking bread right now. He said, my people are destroyed for lack of knowledge, because thou hast rejected knowledge. I will also reject thee. Oh, motivational teacher to the masses. I got this great vision, but it just seems like I can't get it off the ground. Remember, God always gives, let me say it this way, the great I am always awakens our I am in seed form. There's no such thing, and I'm about to break bread, there's no such thing as you not having solutions, because he always gives seed to the sower. He always gives seed to the sower. Have I decided that the sacrifice in order to have this business, or the sacrifice to have this successful relationship, or the sacrifice to have this thriving wellness in my body, have I decided that the sacrifice is not as great for the value? Do I have to give up more than I'm willing to get? And you all always know how seed forms work. That if I plant the seed today, I never get the value out of it today. That I got to go through a few seasons. I got to fertilize. I got to water. I got to go through some seasons in order to see my seed come out the ground and for me to be able to yield the fruit. But do I think the sacrifice is worth the value? Come on, Jackie, I'm coming. Is the sacrifice worth it? That's the question we have to ask ourselves. We got to get outside of this little foo-foo motivation, or I'm just here for the day, or we got to get outside of this stuff that only works for 24 hours, and you got to start working with truth. You got to start working with truth. You got to start looking in the mirror and saying, have I somehow cast my seed aside? And the great I am is not awakening my I am in seed form anymore. You got to start looking in the mirror and start making decisions about your own life. Because I'll tell you this, ignorance is not bliss, even when it comes to your 24 hours. Because you don't know what to do with them, it's costing you something. Whether you see the physical price, or whether you see the spiritual price, or whether you see the mental price, because you do not know what to do with your time, it's costing you something. The time you spend wasting doing things that yield you no fruit is costing you something. Have you determined the sacrifice is not worth the value? Ignorance is not bliss. He said, they destroy for lack of knowledge, because they have rejected knowledge. I will also reject thee. Thou shalt not be no priest among you, seeing that thou hast forgotten the law. Now, Lord, I have forgotten. He said, man, none of this stuff is working. None of this stuff, basically what he said is none of this stuff is working because you've decided to reject knowledge. You've decided to make ignorance your new calling card, your new solution. I always sit back. I always sit back, and I love having conversations with random people. I do. I was at the gym today, and a guy, he was a big guy. He had a waist trainer on, and he said, man, I'm shit. And this is what he said to me. I'm breaking bread. He said, man, I'm shedding these extra pounds today by wearing a waist trainer. I'm going to sweat these extra pounds. And I'm thinking to myself, bro, weight comes to calories in, calories out. How many did I expend today? How many did I take in? You can wear that waist trainer 24 hours a day and not lose a pound if you don't change what you eating at that table. It's simple. Losing weight is simple. I have to burn more calories than I eat. That's how it's simple. You can wear a waist trainer however you want. But has he rejected knowledge to believe that the shortcut of a waist trainer is sufficient enough to get him to his desired weight goal? He can wear it as long as he wants until he has the discipline to push the plate back and has the discipline to get on the treadmill. Nothing changes. And my question to us is, have we accepted in our ignorance that a shortcut to be truth? That I don't have to go through the process of becoming great. I believe that if I just put a product out there, I don't work it. I don't work it. I'm not growing inside of that product. Do I believe the waist trainer to the masses is the truth? And I think that so many of us have so many gifts and we have so many talents on the inside of us. But at the first sign of something becoming uncomfortable, we tend to give up, or we tend to question or have doubt and question our belief in the great I am, awakening our I am. Ladies and gentlemen, in the absence of knowledge, ignorance is bliss. And there's so many of us that are spinning our wheels like a hamster on that wheel going, and we've all been there at some point, going around and around and around because we believe subconsciously. I talked about that the other day. I ain't going into this. If you missed 3 weeks ago, you better go get it. Subconsciously, we've bought the lie that ignorance is bliss. Ladies and gentlemen, we have to change what we believe. I will say it again. The great I am always, God always gives seed to the sower, but it's never in the form that you expected. For example, my financial liberation didn't come in dollars and cents. It came in me learning from Dave Ramsey. It came from me learning from Morgan Stanley. Yes, I wanted to be debt free, but debt freedom didn't slap me across the face. Debt freedom only became because I liberated my thoughts. I only became liberated because I went into the depths of who I was and said, Aunt, what is causing me to be broke, busted, and disgusted? I've been confessing I'll never be broke, busted, and disgusted for years. And there's nothing wrong with making that confession. I'm bringing another big word. We must change what we believe. Yeah. There's nothing wrong with making the confession. And I want you to continue to make the confession. But please don't make the confession and allow it to be void of power. Oh, we got a form of godliness, but we deny the power thereof. What's up, Keith? We got a form, motivational teacher. What does it mean? I have to have a form of godliness, but denying the power. I'm saying all the right things, but there is no knowledge and no truth connected to what I'm saying. It's saying that I know what I should say, but it's void of power, it's null and void of power because I'm not doing anything to back those words. I'm breaking bread right now. That's free for some of y'all. That's a word for some of y'all right there. That's a word for some of y'all right there. Yeah, you're full of power, but in the absence of knowledge and understanding, it's null and void. I can give you a 9mm. I can give you let's change it. I can give you a debit card with $10 million on it. But in the absence of you knowing that I gave you the debit card, in the absence of you knowing how to access the $10 million, you can never have it, although you have it. I just broke bread. You have the $10 million on the debit card, but you don't have it. Why? Because you didn't access the knowledge to crack the code to get in the account. And for a lot of us, the power that's on our life is just like that debit card is null and void because of ignorance. We haven't began. And I told you, it's never going to come to you like you think it should. You've been praying for a desk and God gave you a tree. You've been praying for money. and God gave you Dave Ramsey, or he gave you somebody to teach you about money, and by gaining that information, at least you never get what you want in its completed form. I'm breaking bread right now. I'll tell you like this: when Joseph dreamed that he was going to be king and prince, and all his brothers going to be bowing to him, right after that, he went to prison. Why? Because he didn't go to the throne; he went to prison. Because you never get it in the form that you see it. Oh yeah, I'm the motivational teacher to the masses, but you don't get it in the form of the masses. You get it in the form of a seed. Right now, I have a seed of 19 eyes on here across all 3 platforms. I have a seed of 19 eyes, and it's what I do with the seed of 19 eyes that determines the manifestation of the masses. I'm breaking bread right now. But some of us neglect the seed of the 19 because it's not what I saw in my spirit. It's not what I was awakened to. So we neglect the seed of the 19 in hopes that I'll get it right when I get the masses. And in the kingdom, the seed is the 19. If you can't manage and handle the 19, you'll never get the masses. I'm bread breaking right now. And see, ignorance is not bliss, because we will mishandle the 19 and oh God, oh, why you ain't give me what I thought I saw? And you 97 years old on your deathbed crying about what I saw and it never came into fruition. You die mad at God. And I heard Miles Monroe say that the most potential on earth is not in the diamond fields in South Africa. It's not in the seas with all this. It's right there in the graveyard, because most people took their gifts and their dreams back to the grave with them. Why, motivational teacher? Because ignorance is not bliss. Ignorance is not bliss. Ignorance costs something. The seed can't be seen when it's in the ground, but it's working. But it's working for our good. It's working. Come on, ladies and gentlemen. Don't neglect what you have in your hand right now today. Sit here and you judge yourself based on what it looks like today, and you're like, man, it ain't what I thought it was. You got to manage the 19 before you get the 19 million. And you mishandle ignorance. I keep saying that ignorance is not bliss. You sit here and you mishandle the 19. For example, you're showing up to the motivational Mondays late. You're on here, you're not prepared. I'm just saying, this is what we do to you. Going on here and you popping on here and you get on here for 10 minutes and you just rambling about something. You got nothing prepared, just going through the motions, and you saying, God, great I am. You awaken my I am to 19 million. You say, boy, get away from me. The same when we talk about the talents. He talking about money. Like I gave you a seed, I gave you a seed, but because it wasn't what you thought it was, you went and buried it. No. You went and buried and expected nothing from it. You take it, you got to fertilize the ground. There's something that you got to do. Come on, God does not give you more than he thinks you can handle. He can't do it because there are other people on the other side of that suffers when you mishandle it. There are other people on the other side of your gift that suffers when you mishandle the gift. And the moment you start realizing what you have and how to control that gift, like that was the reason why Moses had to go to the backside of Midian for 40 years, because he had to learn how to manage his anger. It was the reason why Tyler Perry went through those plays 10 years without any manifestation. Why? Because he had to learn how to manage it. That's the reason why you got your own process right now that you got to go through in order to manifest the greatness that lives on the inside of you. But in the absence of truth and knowledge, ignorance is how we make our decisions. All right, let me get somewhere. How do I get to, I like to use this word, a liberated mind? The opposite of ignorance is bliss, is a liberated mind. Motivational teacher, how do I get to a liberated mind? Because it's some of us out there right now don't know that we've accepted ignorance is bliss as a subconscious truth in our life. My body, I'm supposed to have, my mama had diabetes, my grandmama had diabetes, my daddy died of diabetes, I'm supposed to have diabetes. Ignorance is bliss. That's where you decided to take ignorance as bliss. And they were broke. They were broke. They didn't have none. They were broke. They didn't have none. My granddad and them broke. They didn't have none. I guess I'm gonna die the same way. Ignorance is bliss. You've accepted that as your truth. You know, the earned income of my family is all the most anybody ever made was 70,000. So if you get there, you made it. You get you a job with a 401k and some pension benefits, and in 30 years, get you a gold watch. You retire happy. Ignorance is bliss. God wants to do a whole lot more in your life than 30 years on a gold watch. You've adopted the truth that ignorance is bliss. You've adopted that truth. And I'm challenging you today that you got to go deep down in your subconscious and you got to uproot some of those things that you believe, because ignorance is not bliss. Motivational teacher, I want to liberate it. Man, I got some people chiming into this conversation. Let me get some of that stuff before I keep going. When you stay in ignorance, people can get you to accept some dangerous things. You better say that. You stay in ignorance, people can accept some dangerous things. And right now, this is the day and age for it. People are looking for somebody they can con. They're looking for somebody they can take advantage of. Like, it's so many ignorant people out there today. That's why the crime rates are increasing. In the absence of knowledge, people can only respond with ignorance. Come on, man. Yeah, everybody in my family has obesity. So I guess I'll keep eating. You know, they say it like this, Benico. It's in my genes. You know, I got these genes. I got big bones. No, you got the same habits your mama had. You got the same habits your grandmama had. And she got the same habits her grandmama had. And now everybody fat, not because it's in the genes, but because you all got the same eating habits. Come on, ladies and gentlemen. Let's stop making excuses, making reasons for why we are where we are. Motivational teacher. What is the pathway to a liberated mind? All right, let's talk about that. Which I believe the opposite of ignorance is bliss is having a liberated mind. It's having a liberated mind. Work to have a liberated mind. No, he said no big bones, just big mouth. Yep, the violent take it by force, man. Hey, Q, this is not a word for somebody who's just passive in their life. This is a word for active people who's active in their life. Like people who lukewarm in their living, they ain't gonna stay here no 47 minutes. Why? Because they gotta have accountability for the information that they hear. Listen, man, nor do I expect lukewarm people to hang in here with me 47 minutes. If you lukewarm, this ain't the spot for you. If this is just something I'm dabbling my toe in, this ain't the spot for you. Because I can tell you right now, I'm all in, baby. Hashtag all in. We are waging war on mediocrity. There is no half, and I got people on here that know me. Y'all know, like I know, ain't no halfway lukewarm living. You get spewed out. That means you don't get the good, you get all the bad that goes wrong along with it. I'm gonna say, instead of being lukewarm, just go ahead and just don't do it at all. I'm more respectful of somebody that don't do it at all than somebody who I'm just dabbling in it. Ain't nothing I really want to do. I just want to appear to be doing it. You might well not even do it at all. The results are still the same. I'm challenging you to become an active participant in your own life. I'm challenging you to discover the kingdom so all these other things can be added unto you. I'm discovering you to let the great I am awaken your I am to what you're supposed to be doing in this earth. Man, your ignorance. Somebody out there know how to finish it. Ignorance is not bliss. I know they say ignorance is bliss. It don't matter. It don't matter. No. Let me tell you why. I'm gonna tell you why ignorance is not bliss. Everything that you do today determines your manifestation tomorrow. You know why he said, "Take no heed for tomorrow. I clothe the lilies of the field, and I feed the birds in the air." You know why he said that? You know why he said that? Because he's taking care of business today. For people that do not take care of business today, ignorance is not bliss because it always affects your tomorrow. If the 40-year-old version of you is not planning for retirement at the 60-year-old version of you, guess who's going to have to deal with the decisions of the 40-year-old? The 60-year-old going to have to deal with all the decisions that the 40-year-old did not make. That's why ignorance is not bliss. Whether you know it or not, it costs you not to take care of business today. I just broke bread. That was for free for somebody. He said, don't take no heed for tomorrow. That's for people that are taking care of business today. Because if I put the right seeds in the ground today, I know my harvest is coming tomorrow in the future. But if I have no seed in the ground today, you're going to starve tomorrow. You're going to be looking for ravens to bring you manna in order for you just to have the basic necessities of your house. It was no way you were meant to live from crisis to crisis. Crises to crises. It was not meant for you to live from crises to crises. Some of our life is so unstable because we're living from crises to crises. And the reason why, because we're not taking care of business today. What's up, Pat? Thank you for joining us. What motivation? I've been trying to get to this. Yeah, they will not be taken care of. If you're not taking care of the business, your tomorrow, you're going to starve. I think one scripture say, devour in the morning and divide in the afternoon. Like in the morning, you better be killing something, because at night, no man worketh, you're going to need something to eat. I'm telling you, I never understood that saying. I was never ignorant, just lack that good info. Come on. I got you, Vaniqua. I got you. And I think that's what a lot of Vaniqua, I think honestly, that's what a lot of people are that won't admit it. Like, I just don't know where to go or what to do. Man, if I knew, and I think a lot of people, if they understood what God had invested in them and what their awakened I am could produce, they will say, I need to get that information. But so many people lack the basic understanding to know that they're here on purpose and that their life, look, all lives matter. No, your life matter. Your life matter. That was something you were sent here to do. Man, I'm trying to get to the end of this thing. I thank you for calling that out, though, Vaniqua. I thank you for calling it out. She said, I knew there was a reason. I just never understood that saying. Yup. I was never ignorant, just lacked this info. Come on, Vaniqua. And I think that's where a lot of people are. And I think you bless some people just by saying that. Q said the devil had blinded their eyes. They can't see true, watching TV versus sowing into their lives. Yeah, Atlanta housewife. Everywhere you go around here is bulletins about the housewives and all what's going on with them. And I'm saying, by you knowing everything that's going on with Nene Leakes changes your life how much? It changes your life how much? Zero, zilch. All right, let me get into this. Y'all taking me down other ways. I thank y'all for chiming into this conversation, though. It's good stuff. Y'all always elevate this conversation. The opposite of ignorance is bliss is having a liberated mind. Motivational teacher, what's a liberated mind? A liberated mind includes noticing our thoughts with curiosity. That's number one. A liberated mind notices our thoughts and thinks about how can I make it greater, or how can the great I am use me to manifest this into the earth. Like, you have to see things with eyes of learning and understanding, not through the eyes that I already know everything. There are too many of us that live well. I heard, I was talking to a young dude the other day. I said young dude, he was 20, 21. And I was talking to him about just manhood. I'm big on manhood. And I was talking to him just about, well, he talking about, nobody got to teach me how to be a man. I'm a man, ain't I? And I said, that's what's wrong right there, is that we believe because I become of age, I know how to be a man. And I'm telling you, just because you're 21 doesn't mean you know manhood. It does not mean you know manhood, that we have to be taught and learn manhood, because the way we grew up might not be the way that the great I am want to awaken our I am to it. That we have to have a spirit of curiosity. That's number one. Number two is that we have to live in the present. We have to live in the present. There are too many of us not taking care of business right now, hoping and praying for a better tomorrow. We're living in our past and we're not taking care of business right now. Ladies and gentlemen, the only moment you control is now. I just broke bread. By controlling your now, you control your future. If you take care of your now, all these other things, seek ye first the kingdom, and all these other things will be, all of these other things will be added in the future. But it hinges on seeking the kingdom now. What am I doing now? The things I control the future by what I do now. Now is the only moment that I presently control. I can't worry about the masses coming in 3 years. I only control the 19 right here in front of me. I got to give an account for these 19 in front of me. We've been praying. God, I want $1 million, but right now I only got $700. I got to be a faithful steward over the 700, because that's all I got to control right now. I got to control the 700 in order to get to the million. God, I want a better relationship with my spouse, God. I wish my spouse would give me what I need, but all I control is the now, God. All I control is now. In order for me to have a better relationship, I got to make it better now. I got to make it better. I got to control this moment right here. I can't go off like I used to because I'm asking God for a better relationship and there's no information, no change in my life. I can't have a better relationship because we still react to everything the same way. I got to change how I respond now in order to get to that better relationship. Nothing just happens. Nothing just happens. Oh God, I want a better business, but right now I'm opening late, I'm closing early, I'm neglecting my responsibilities today. If I want a better business in the future, I gotta manage what I have now. I'm breaking bread right now. I gotta live in the now. I gotta take care of I can't focus on what I'm gonna say to 6,000 people because I got 19 right now. I'm focused on what I'm gonna say to them. I can't focus on $1 million in the future. I gotta manage what I have right now. I can't focus on when my kids grow old. I hope they don't depart from it. I gotta focus on training them up in the way they should go right now. If I train them up right now in the way they should go, the book says when they grow old, they will not depart from it. Even if they go away, they gotta come back. Why? Because I'm training them up now. I'm bread breaking right now. I'm bread breaking right now on my job. I can't worry about when they gonna promote me. Come on, Kanika, I'm in the house. I can't worry about when they gonna promote me on my job. I can't worry about who they put in front of me. All I got right now is to focus on putting my best product on the field right now, doing my best work right now that I can do. And by me controlling doing my work now, I know these things will be added to me in the future. Why? Because I own the now. Ignorance is not bliss. Every moment you waste not gaining, not acting on new information, it is costing you something. You got to determine the sacrifice that you're willing to give for your life. To have a healthy relationship, to have money at the end of the month, to have a healthy body, you got to determine the sacrifice. What is it that I want to give in order to have this? There is no such thing. Even your salvation wasn't free. Somebody had to pay the price for your salvation. It wasn't even free. And you want all these things to come without the work, without the elbow grease, without the great I am awakening your I am to. It does not just happen. It does. Come on, you just broke bread. Come on, Angelique. It does not just happen. I just broke some bread right there. That's liberating for some folk. Motivational teacher. I want a liberated mind, but I don't know how to get there. You have to discover your deepest values. You have to discover who you are. This is what Anthony will do. This is what Anthony will not do. Even on the pathway to the masses, you got to discover your own values. I'm not willing to compromise this. I'm not willing to compromise that. I got to discover my own values because the moment in the absence of you not knowing who you are and you being ignorant into who you are, you know what's going to happen? Somebody going to come along and take you off where you're supposed to be. And they say an unstable, what they say? We can't wavering mind, unstable in all his ways. We got to know who we are. And thank you, Angelique. We got to take action because it does not just happen. How do I get a liberated mind, motivational teacher? What habits are you building? And I meant to go in sequential order. Don't worry about it. What habits are you building? Who are you when the lights go off? Who are you when the lights go on and you're left alone to your own thoughts? Who are you at that moment? Who are you at that moment? Forget who men say you are. Who do you believe you are? I'm gonna tell you right now, I'm a giant. I'm a giant. And that mindset didn't come overnight. That came from years of the great I am, awakening my I am into what he created me to be. It wasn't natural for me to believe that, although I'm 6'7", losing weight, 260 something pounds. It's going down. I should be in the 50s by next week. Although I'm big in stature, my mind has always been open to the idea that, man, I can do all things through him who strengthened me. Like I've always said that, but just recently have that started connecting with my mind and my heart. Has it been connecting with my knowledge and information? I see a pathway forward. And for some of us, who does the great I am say you are? Who do you believe you are in God? What do you believe God can do through you? Too many of us judging ourselves based on what we believe we can do through us. But no, what can the great I am do through your awakened I am? Oh my God, that's the biggest piece of ignorance that probably is on earth right now. What the great I am can do to awaken my I am. What can he do through in and through me to manifest what he wish on earth? And that's the challenge for most of us. And I'm telling you, I keep hearing the thing go in and out in my ear. And I know this message is going to come with opposition because as long as we remain ignorant, we can quote all the Bible scriptures. We can quote all the sayings. I told you about these famous quotes. All mind over matter. We can do all these quotes and all this stuff, and nothing changes because ignorance is not bliss. Nothing changes because we're not connecting the great I am to our awakened I am. That's the biggest miss on earth. I did not know when I started this Awaken Your I Am, I will be 92 episodes into it. The biggest miss from the motivational teacher is most of us don't know who we are through our awakened I am. We judge ourselves based on what I've been through in my natural life. I judge myself based on what my dad has said I couldn't do. I judge myself by my dad and my uncles being in and out of prison. And I judge myself based on how I came up in a 3-bedroom trailer. I judge myself based on, and God said, no, that's not who you are. I want to take you, Saul, and convert you to Paul. You were Paul since the foundation of the earth. Somebody naturally messed up in the earth and called you Saul. But you have been Paul since the foundation of the earth. And now I need you to see this world through the lens of Paul, and I need Saul to depreciate on the inside of you. I'm telling you right now, ladies and gentlemen, your life, the life you live may not even be the life God intended for you to have. Maybe you're supposed to have much more. You got to figure out who you are in this earth. You got to know that your awakened I am is capable of much more than you ever thought you can do, because it's God working in and through you. Oh my God, I can run out of this room right now. Because that is true freedom. That's knowledge and gaining understanding. You were never supposed to be broke. Can I tell you that? You were never supposed to be broke. You were never supposed to be homeless. You were never supposed to be whatever the situation was. You were never supposed to be there. Why? I'm about to break bread. She said, where do we send the offering? This is life changing. Come on, Vaniqua, I appreciate it. Let me tell you why you were never supposed to be there. Because even in the midst of physically being there, your seed always produces. Your seed always produces. Don't let anybody, I know right now I might not have money at the end of the month, but guess what? My seed always produces. It ain't gonna come in money form. But that the great I am has awakened my I am to seed form or whatever I lack in my life. The reason why I know I can go from just being Angelique to Angelique the artist. The reason why I know I can go from being just Anthony to the motivational teacher to the masses. The reason why I know I can go from being the RN student to the RN to the DON, because why? I already realized that stuff is in me in seed form. And I'm going to keep calling myself there to unlock new information to get me from where I am today to where I want to be tomorrow. You said it. Freedom, abundance is my birthright. Boy, you just broke bread. Abundance is your birthright. If you got lack in any area of your life, you need to unlock new information. I just broke bread. Ignorance is not bliss. And I'm going to go back and listen to this thing keep going in and out of my ear, so I know there's some disconnecting going on. I am going to go back and listen to it, man, and I might pop back. Yeah, we getting in the OT today, Q. This stuff is too good to let it go, man. Like, I feel... Honestly, man, like when the lady touched the hem of his garment, he said, man, virtue went out of me. I feel virtue going out of me right now. I feel like somebody's life is being changed right now. That because they got new information, they starting to see themselves in a different light. And boy, if you can see yourself in a different light, you might be able, you will be able to liberate yourself, and you will be able to answer the call of the great I am. Man, I'm telling you. Come on, man. Come on, Rod. I'm telling you right now, man. This is some stuff. Ignorance is not bliss. It's costing you something. Man, I appreciate you all chiming into this conversation. I had YouTube and Facebook was on fire tonight. Hey, man, if you found this to be a blessing, please share, like, invite somebody to listen to it, do a watch party for it, because I'm telling you right now, there's somebody right now that's ignorant. And they believe, like my uncle died of type 2 diabetes because he believed that ignorance was bliss. Now, whether you know it or not, it might not be costing your life right now, but because you believe ignorance is bliss in one area of your life, it can cost you something. Ignorance is bliss could cost you your marriage. Maybe I believe it's supposed to be this way. No, it's not supposed to be that way. You need new information. You need new thoughts to be able to produce a fruitful marriage. Maybe it's money. It ain't gonna come to you in the form of money. It's gonna come to you in the form of a seed, and you got to figure out how to work that seed and how to water it and how to fertilize it, and you got to take care of it. You got to figure that out, because the great I am has awakened your I am to it. If you realize that it's a problem, he's giving you a solution. He doesn't show you problems just so you can say, sit there and look at the problem. He only shows you problems because you have the solution. This solution to poverty, I got the solution to poverty. I got the solution to self-preservation and fear. Why? Because I went through it, and he awakened my I am in those areas. So when I come on here, I'm pouring out me to you because I got the answer to those. Because I sat there in that stuff for years before I realized there was more to me than what that just met the eye. That I was only living a partial of how I was supposed to live. I was only living at a 4 when at that moment I need to be at a 7. So the great I am awakened my I am to new information, and I like to say it like this: he turned me up. He turned me up. And see, truth be told, it's time for some of y'all to be turned up right now. It's time for some of y'all to be turned up right now. You've been living at a 4. It's time for the 6 version to come out of you. And the difference between the 4 and 6 of you, oh my God, you're gonna be able to call fire down from heaven. You're gonna be, man, the same problems that used to bother you 3 years ago, you'll look at them and laugh. Not even my issue right now. I've been awakened to too much right now. I got too many solutions in it. And some of you all right now, you at that place. It's time for you to light that fire. It's time for you to light that. It's that my boy says, like fire shut up in my bones. It's time for you to release it right now. It's time for you to turn yourself up. Just like you would a volume button, last thing, I got to get off this thing. Let me inform you about something. You do know you got the power to turn you up, right? You do know that you're not waiting on anything different, that if I want to go from a 4 to a 6, I possess the authority and the power to turn my life up. You do understand that you control the volume. Listen, man, the great I am awakening your I am gives you the authority over your life. Whatever you bind is bound. Whatever you set free is set free. Whatever you subdue is subdue. You have dominion over all this stuff. It's time to turn yourself up a little bit and let the earth know you here. It's time for you to stop sitting on the sidelines, and it's time for you to get in the game. A lot of this stuff you don't learn until you get in the game. I got to tell you, the great I am don't work with people on the bench. The great I am only works to awaken I ams that are in the game. What good is a great I am on the bench? It's time to turn you up in the microphone. Whatever your platform is, Q, whatever your platform is, it's time to turn you up, Angelique. Vanika, it's time to amplify your sound and amplify your vibrations in this earth. I'm telling you right now, these I ams are awakened, Rod. These I ams are awakened up and down this list. But now it's time for you to turn you up just a little and let the earth feel your vibration. I guarantee you, as you begin to vibrate, I turn up, the world has no response but to say, let's give this person what they deserve. Watch what I tell you. It's time for you to turn yourself up. Man, let me get off this thing. In moments like these, I can go for, boy, I'll be like my boy Jesus pushed away. Man, he said he sat there, he broke bread so long that people were hungry. That's why he had to go get them fish and 5 loaves, because he sat there and talked the whole day. And they said, man, we famished right now. And I understand where we're coming from, because when the great I am has awakened your I am, you get truths you had no knowledge that you was going to use tonight. or I get truths I never know I was going to use tonight. But ladies and gentlemen, at the end of this thing, I do want you to know that you are powerful beyond measures. I do want you to know that your life, thank you, Deborah, that your life means something to this earth. I don't want you to be ignorant to think that you just came here by mistake and you just haphazardly got here and you're going to haphazardly fade away. No, you were sent here with a purpose. Your life, please do not be ignorant about your purpose in this earth. Your life means something. And this is your time. This is your moment. This is your season to attain and to attract everything that is given to you. Hey, man, if you have not, please, Williams Inspires, go find me on YouTube. Go subscribe on YouTube. If you have not, find your boy on Facebook, Williams Inspires. And if you, thank you, Vaniqua. And if you have not, thank you, Joy. Go find your boy at Wager132 on Twitter. Thank you, Krista. Thank you, Rod. Thank you, Deborah. Thank you, Q. All the way up. It's time to do it, all caps. And until next time, I am challenging you all to wage war on mediocrity. Your boy is out.
It ain't no friend to me. Wage a war, wage a war, wage a war, wage a war against mediocrity. It ain't no friend to